interact with at all.
we do a very cynical, angry intro where it's just us being like, yeah, we can get money from these people. We can milk them.
From the fucking sheep.
They are sheep and cow hybrids. They will follow us and we will squeeze at the teat. And we will be
Squeeze at the teeth.
and we will be triumphant. And then we turn and we go, "Welcome to Press Start, everybody. It's us, the Press Start crew. Me, Mr. Cow, with Luke and Cammy. How you guys doing?"
Yeah,
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
great.
Good.
We've got Locke here also. Special guest Lachlan. How are you doing, Locke? He can't talk. I tricked you.
He's
I
just
deceived
hiccuping.
you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking of hiccups, we've got a little bit. We got something to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? The GTA Trilogy release. I think we all were kind of like, I don't want to even say cautiously optimistic, but we're just like, okay, let's see how it goes. Because I don't think any of us have deep inroads apart from, I like Vice City a lot. And San Andreas. So, I like it a little bit maybe more than you two do. But good God, there's some stuff going on with this. Cammy, why don't you tell us about the first of many bullet points that have gone wrong with this release?
Of many things. I mean, so the trilogy came out and I want to say it was almost immediate, right? It certainly wasn't long for the games launcher, Rockstar Games Launcher, just went down. It was down for like 24 hours, over 24 hours, meaning that every Rockstar game was unplayable on PC. Like, you want to play Red Dead, even like a solo game, not online, yeah, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's starting to look really good for those people like CD Projekt Red and Rockstar who are making, and Bethesda, who make their own game launchers so that they can, get all the profits from because you can buy games through those game launchers. Obviously, that means the split, you don't have to worry about Steam. But that also means you don't get Steam's fantastic infrastructure. So it gets real screwy real fast. And we've seen it with all of them. Like, I think all of these I don't want to say independent, but it's independent of Steam, independent of the big launchers and marketplace we've seen. All of them have had problems like this that like severely impact the release of some games, and it affects all of it at the same time. It's a
What's
big
bizarre
mess.
about this is that their excuse is that files were left in some of the remastered trilogy games by mistake, and they've had to take them off of the store because of that, which is why now the launcher is back online and you can play like other Rockstar games, but you can't play any of the trilogy. So it seems as though my guess as to what happened is that they included music that they had the rights to back in the original release and no longer hold the rights to today. Some wires got crossed. They released the game and sold it, and then realized that they had published and distributed music they didn't have the rights to. And so they frantically pulled everything down to strip it out of the games and have just left them offline while they make sure that they have the rights to everything that they've done. Because if they actually did distribute to, say, 100,000 people or 500,000 people, however many people bought these games, if they distributed music that they don't have the copyright to, they gave, in effect, like the actual MP3s or WAV files to those songs to all those people, which is super illegal, and Rockstar could get sued quite quickly and forcefully. And one of the defenses in court that they could have if they were to face a lawsuit now would be that once they realized the mistake had been made, they made swift and drastic action to remedy the mistake, which I think a judge would probably side with them on. So it's a good legal move for a stupid mistake that they made, and it makes sense in that context, but it doesn't change the fact that people bought these games and now can't play them at all. Which is amazing.
It's pretty bad. That might be one of the worst things you can do when you buy a game, is not be able to play it at all.
It's not just the music though. Have you seen that they've the hot coffee mini game
Oh yeah,
in the data miners have found the code for that still in the games, which was supposedly taken out,
Hmm.
but it's still there.
but it's 2021 now. People probably won't be as upset with. I think it
Oh, they
was.
won't.
I think it was fully clothed sex scenes. I don't remember. I haven't thought about that hot coffee thing in a long
I don't
time.
remember. But the point is, there's more than just music left in the code that shouldn't be there
What it
Right.
or
sounds
wasn't
like.
intended to be there.
What it sounds
Well,
like
and it
as a
makes me
whole is just.
wonder if. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You got a baby. You gotta go first.
Go ahead.
You
I
gotta
was
go
just gonna say,
first.
it makes me wonder. Like, it's pretty common for studios when they put out a game and they've cut things. Like, even in Bloodborne, there's a bunch of bosses and areas that have been data mined that were cut from the game, but are still basic. Like, they're in the package of the game, um, deep in the code, which is why they can be data mined. But they've been removed for all practical purposes. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how long people were able to play these games before they were taken offline. If anybody was able to see if like the hot coffee minigame was actually reachable, if you could actually do that. I'm not sure, but like this is part of the issue is that they just ripped everything down. They've given this one excuse, which I think makes sense, but it doesn't change the fact that people paid for a game. And like it's one thing to buy a game like Fallout 76 and it just to be broken as hell. There's reason to be upset there, obviously. But it's a whole nother animal to buy a game and then literally not be able to launch it or try to boot it up. Like it just doesn't work. In many cases, people are saying that it uninstalled the games automatically off of their computers, like all sorts of issues. So it's just insane. Insane.
It's pretty silly, especially since I don't know, art style wise. I thought because that's really all we had to go on at first. It was a pretty quick turnaround. It was trailer, you're exposed to that new art style, and then basically release. They pulled an almost Bethesda move where it's just a very quick turnaround on that. And hey, to drive more lines Bethesda, it sucked as well and has a lot of issues. Some of these issues include if you've just been on Reddit or Twitter, you can see a lot of it, like these bizarre camera angles, like character models getting screwed up and looking like Gumby, like elastic people. Like it's pretty bad. Like I for one, I like thought the art style was interesting because you kept that low poly style, but good God, like
Yeah.
I can't even put into words. Just look at some of it in your free time, everybody. It's beautiful. It's a work of art.
Well, it's always frustrating with these things because you're right. Like when a game is glitchy or has like bug potential and the potential to break, people online will find those broken things and will share them and distribute them. So you'll see something on Reddit, like 5 screenshots that have been upvoted like crazy. And so the perception is that those are super widespread or common bugs. When that's not necessarily the case. It just means that they were the most interesting or readily distributable. It's the same thing with like Assassin's Creed Unity. Very buggy. But like the famous bug where the face, like the skin was completely gone and it's just bulging eyes. Like there's a reason that there's only 2 or 3 photos of that bug that you can find nowadays. It's because only a couple people found those glitches. They shared them online and they got blown up. But now everybody thinks that that's what the game was like writ large at launch. So it's always really hard to determine if the game is as broken as, Reddit and other forums might make it out to be. But it does seem across the board that people agree these are rushed like crazy. They're lazily put together, probably not tested hardly at all because there's tons of performance issues across platforms. And it's just another lazy update, which we'll talk about the one for Skyrim in just a minute. But it's just too bad that companies keep pulling this when it could be a celebration of games that we all love and remember fondly. Instead, it's just a cash grab meant to profit off of people's nostalgia, and it's just a bummer to see.
We're looking at you, George Lucas. He started this shit. I blame him. He started this shit. Remember there was a time when people were remaking things in the 80s that were from the 50s, and they were remaking things that were like kind of liked, but then modernizing them and having a new spin. Like
Little Shop of Horrors is my favorite example.
Yeah, or John Carpenter's The Thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. Like, remember those times, and then we see it still sometimes today. Not to say that doesn't happen, but like Final Fantasy VII remake, whoo, Mafia Definitive Edition remake, rebuilt, whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
like that's a great way to bring that stuff to a new audience. So to see stuff like this too, these games that are that influential, that beloved, completely butchered by probably what most likely was like an executive decision. Get this out quickly. We haven't had something release in so long. Our next big
get it out by
release,
holiday. Yeah,
get it out by so people can trick their kids and give it to them and be like, look, it's the Grand Theft Auto you were after, son. Don't you love
Grand Theft Auto 6?
No, Dad, there's just 3 of them, and you bought me 2. How dare you? How dare you question my intelligence? That's what you're doing, Rockstar. You've ruined Christmas. You're the Grinch. We're renaming you to Grinch Inc. And hey, speaking of ink, I almost inked myself at the sight of this news of the Skyrim Anniversary edition. I was in public yesterday, and I was out with a friend eating lunch, and they took a bite of food, and they said, "You made me ink." And it disgusted me because I didn't know what they were talking about, but it's a quote from Nemo. So that's still bothering me to this day.
Yes.
That's because she's a little, like, octopus.
Yeah, but this was a human being that I was at lunch with who said that with no context.
Did you scare them?
No, they took a bite of chicken, or not chicken. It was like a pizza roll, because we went to like a place that made pizza rolls, and she's like, "You made me ink," and I was like, "What? Stop." That's disgusting. I'm trying to eat my food. Anyways, let's move on. I had to get that off my chest. It bothered the fuck out of me.
I'm glad you do. I can see that you look as though a weight has been lifted.
I am now lighter.
You're a free man.
Speaking of lighter, if we could take a lighter to this whole situation and burn it away, I would be happy. Bethesda is still trying to... Well, so here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I'll let you guys talk about it. I don't want to dwell on Skyrim too much personally, because the way I see this is, it's not a Bethesda issue. A Bethesda issue. It's a consumer issue. 100%. For all the people getting mad at these price points, getting mad at, for all the anger that could be had with this, we don't have to buy this. No one does. We all have Skyrim. Most of us will have Skyrim, have mods for it installed. This is nothing. This is like to entice stupid people that buy it. Don't buy it.
This is to entice stupid people.
It's literally, if you've never played Skyrim before, maybe go for this.
But it's $50 if you're buying it for the first time.
That's the thing. Treat yourself. At roleplay, say that you're in the year 2012 and Skyrim, it just came out. And you're like, oh shit, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to pay full price for it. You're role-playing before you play the role-playing game. I just think, as ridiculous as these price points are, as stupid as it is to re-release this, at the end of the day, no one has to buy this. There's literally no reason to buy this other than there isn't one. With mods out, with the special edition out, it doesn't make sense. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So I guess to play devil's advocate to a certain extent, or at least to argue why I think it's reasonable to be, I suppose, a little perturbed by this. I I don't know if wrote off, but I understood a lot of Bethesda's behavior over the last like 3 4 years as the workings of a company that was desperate to sell itself. Like they just wanted to sell to a big corporation so that the private owners could cash out big time. I mean, they're all in their like late 60s and 70s, so it makes sense that they would want to cash out, go buy a mega yacht and live in supreme luxury for however much time they had left. Ironically enough, most of the big owners, like Robert Altman and Donald Trump's brother, Robert Trump, I want to say, they both died within like 6 months of the purchase being announced.
Ha
which is
I'm
kind of
sorry.
like a major
that's in
bummer.
bad taste.
Oh my god! I'm just saying, like, imagine you've worked your whole life, not like specifically Robert Altman, like for decades he's been building this company. He cashes out, sells it for billions of dollars, and right as he's about to get the big payday, there's a medical mistake in a surgery he was having, and he dies. And then Robert Trump kicks it like late last year, I think it was. It like, oh, that's a bummer to go out right before you make all that cash. But their behavior made sense. Like Fallout 76 and the craziness surrounding it made sense because they were trying to maximize profits, look like they were making more money than they normally were, so they could charge more for the sale. That made sense to me. But that was under the understanding that after the purchase was completed, they would go back to just making good games and not being like predatory dicks with the pricing of their products. And they would celebrate their fans and just be decent people. But instead, even after the purchase by Xbox, what we're seeing is that they're just like, this is just who they are. And I would guess that like Todd stands to get personal bonuses and things based on the performance of their games, specifically the DLC purchase. I know.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
He spits when he's perturbed. But like all of that to say, I was hoping we would see a return to form from Bethesda, not a continuation of pricing things ridiculously simply for the sake of a quick cash grab, which is all that they've been doing for the last like 3-4 years. And with this, what could have been a great opportunity to say, hey, I know we've been awful for the last like 3-4 years. They wouldn't say that, obviously, but they could say, in effect, here is a sign of good faith. We're going to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Skyrim with all of our fans that have gotten us where we are, that have supported this game all this time, bought it multiple times, I'm sure. We're going to throw you a bone and offer this anniversary edition for free. And even then, I wouldn't get it because it breaks all mods that are built with the Skyrim script extender, any DLL-based script extender. It breaks all of that, and I'm sure they'll like the modding community is very resourceful, and they'll figure out a way around it. But like even when free, this doesn't make sense to purchase and acquire. So for $18 if you have Game Pass, or $20 if you don't have Game Pass but just have the special edition, or $50 if you're buying it outright on a new platform, that just doesn't make any sense at all. And there's no way of like reasonably explaining it as far as I can tell, other than they're just trying to cash in on the 10th anniversary hype. And it's sort of working. Like there was some funny stuff I saw. I saw a video that a girl had posted to Twitter of her Twitch stream. She got the anniversary edition and started streaming it and named her stream like, this new game Skyrim just came out. Come watch me play it. And she had all these people in the comments in chat telling her it's 10 years old and she should get educated. And she's like, no, if it's 10 years old, why did it just release today for full price? Trolled them pretty hard. It was pretty funny. I don't remember her name, but I'm sure if you look up just something
that sounds
associated
wonderful
with that stream, it was pretty funny. I'll give her credit. It was pretty funny because like, no, it's full price, man. I paid $50 for this. They wouldn't charge $50 for a game that's 10 years old. Okay.
Like, they wouldn't do that. You think they do that? What are they, stupid?
What kind of company would do that? Yeah, exactly. Um, but it's just a bummer to see. Like I said, I was hoping Bethesda would go back to form, return to form, but I think this is just how they are. They know they can get away with this. So I would fully expect we will see similar ridiculousness with Starfield. I would actually now bet that the Creation Club, which is their built in service for paid mods, I think we'll probably see that day one with Starfield. And they will have that shop built out day one for microtransactions within their single player game. Um, I think we're going to see all of this stuff because that's just who Bethesda is now. I'm going to go on mute because he's going to cry. So, Cammy, take it.
Bethesda fans when they don't get what they want, and then
They
it's
just
Lachlan
cry.
crying.
Uh,
I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Cammy? Do you have any strong feelings which way or another?
Not really. I think Luke is incredibly optimistic and kind of stupid for thinking they would offer it for anything less than full price. This is Bethesda. They are
Well,
greedy.
so
Like,
here's my prediction because I was thinking about this.
okay.
You see, with Game Pass, you get a lot of value.
Yeah, you
Psychonauts
do.
2, brand new game, $60 game, polished to
Hmm.
shit, like celebrity voice acting, top tier, free with Game Pass. Like that's a
Hmm.
steal.
Yeah.
Starfield, like I don't want to belittle one of my favorite games, Psychonauts 2, but that game production wise has been going on for years. It's been fleshed out like crazy. I would not be surprised, and here's my prediction: if Starfield is released for over $80, for like 85 or $90,
Hmm.
because I think what they're going to try to do with the release of Starfield is shoehorn it as a Game Pass thing. But of course, the price of Game Pass for around E3 or something, they're going to bump up. And they're going to cite all this stuff because at this point, it should be bumped up. You're getting a lot of games for free that are super high quality. So it's a win-win for Microsoft. It's a win-win for everyone, in a way. Not so much the consumer, but kind of. It encourages you to get Game Pass for $30 a month, $25 a month, whatever they decide to charge. You get these massive AAA games, or you can avoid it and pay even more for the games as a whole, so it evens out. I think that's the direction they're trying to move because we already know Game Pass is going to get a price hike at some point because of this. Right now, it's a little bit too good to be true. I guess point is go play something on Game Pass like Skyrim for free with Game Pass. Don't buy this new anniversary edition. It's if you do, you're stupid. Take it from a guy who's bought the special edition and the original. You're stupid for buying this one. I've done it once. I've been burned before. I won't be burned again. And hey, speaking of burning, the Steam Deck is just burning through people's hands. It's not. That was a prediction I made.
It's not.
I
It
said
won't.
months ago that it was going to catch on fire and people were going to light on fire and die. It's not happening. What's happening with it, Cammy?
We'll have to wait 2 whole months, longer than expected, to see if it will burn through people's hands or not.
But how am I supposed to play Five Nights at Freddy's on the go?
On the go.
Um,
Yeah.
is it on Switch?
I'll do some research. Let me see. I don't actually know.
Is it
It's
on
on
mobile?
Five Nights at Freddy's is on mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Then
it's got
stop
touchscreen
complaining.
controls.
Yeah, that's a perk, Jacob.
Oh, fuck me. It is on Switch.
Then what?
Cool.
Then there you go. Then.
Wow, you sound stupid right now.
Oh,
I might buy
stupid
that. I remember being a little
Radiohead.
eighth grader and being desperate, fucking desperate to play it on like the Xbox 360 or something.
Mhm.
Or did we have a 360? I don't even remember. I don't remember how old I was. Point being,
It was like
Steam Deck is
2014.
delayed. 2014. It came out in 2015, so I was 14.
Okay. Yeah, it's been delayed 2 months. I got the email about it. They were initially going to start shipping in um, December was their goal for the people that got on the list first. Um, I'm on the list, but mine was Q2 of 2022. So presumably this pushes that back to like Q3, probably. Good burp. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. But we don't just aren't totally sure what the dates are because as of right now, as far as I can tell, people have reserved their spot to pre-order it. So they've pre-ordered the right to pre-order. So like I had to put $5 up, and that was $5 towards the pre-order that I'll be allowed to make at some point in the future. So we're just gonna have to wait and see when that actually is. But I would hope it's relatively soon. I think they're just waiting to hear what the inventory levels are going to be because as of right now, they just aren't really. I don't think they know much of anything.
Be honest, no one listened to you there. Everyone was just looking at the
looking
baby.
at Lachlan
and over our head, we were all like, "Oh."
I was gonna say, but with all those hand motions, it's kind of and all that, doing this. It's kind of childish, Lachlan.
Yeah,
you would be doing that. But
exactly. Yeah, well, I'm pooping right now.
So. We'll overlook it for today.
It helps. I think it helps demonstrate my point. If I'm like, look, we need to come together as a group of people and play our games and fight the bad guys. I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Boy.
It's like that. It was like that. It was like that one guy. That one guy he would go like this, and everyone would, that guy, loud guy. What was his name? He was loud. He would scream, and he'd get everyone would yell back at him, and he'd be like, ah. What was that guy's name? Oh, Hitler.
I knew it. I knew it.
You go like this, and then get loud.
Oh, hey, and speaking of...
classic description of Hitler I've ever heard in my life. He would go like this, and people would...
You go loud, you make people do things.
Well, speaking of
Hitler...
The
painter, the painter.
Yeah, the painter.
The painter guy.
The famous painter.
Yeah.
Well, there's no transition after that that we can have.
No, I'm sure we can find one. Hitler to Elden Ring, there must be one.
New World Order, more like it's getting a little colder because Elden Ring's coming out in February.
Congratulations. You did it.
Yeah, they did the closed network tests.
What's happening now?
It's happening now, yeah. I caught some of it.
Yeah, I caught I think a couple of hours of some different people playing it. It's winning me over.
I love how it looks. I'm really stoked on it.
I mean, last time we talked about it was it literally last week?
Yeah, we did a whole episode on it.
They had the gameplay trailer, and I was like, I'm not sure. I think a lot of it comes down to my ignorance, yada yada yada. Now actually seeing people play it, people who know the game, and people like experiencing it firsthand. Yeah, it's winning me over.
It's looking good. And of course, if you want to hear us go real in depth on it, check out our episode from last week. We do an hour-long dive in on the gameplay. So get a peek at that.
If you want to hear our proper in-depth thoughts on it, From Software, if you could just send us all the game, please.
Yeah, go for it, From Software. What do you got to lose? What do you have to lose? But it's looking good. Luke, I know you got a baby on your shoulder. Chip on your shoulder as well. You got something you want to get off your chest? Chip off your chest. What do you think of the game?
I made a video on it on my main channel where I just described that it's kind of won me over. There's a lot of things that they're doing, which are kind of on my bucket list of From Software games. I still stand by my assertion that I think this will feel markedly different from every other From Software game, and especially Dark Souls. And as a result, I think a lot of people who are diehard fans of Dark Souls might not connect with it as much as they think they will. But I'm still excited for it. I think it looks really good. In addition, I just want to stress again, don't pre-order until we have reviews. People all over the internet are saying, no, you can trust From Software. I even saw one comment this morning on my video where he was like, no, I'm still going to pre-order it because Hidetaka Miyazaki has not burned us yet. I was like, exactly, yet. You don't know until it happens. So save your money, wait, and like nowadays with download speeds in most parts of the world and with physical copies being stocked in stores and now lockdowns lifted in a lot of places, if the launch day comes and the reviews are great, say they even hold off reviews until launch day, which doesn't happen, but say that is the case, just go out and buy it on launch day or download it the night before when reviews drop the day before. Like, you don't need to pre-order it months and months in advance, put your money on the line when you have no idea if it's going to be good. Like, this is one of the most network integrated games they've ever done. And one of the things we know for a fact is that most studios who are used to doing predominantly single-player driven things, when they introduce a lot of networking code or build out the networking side of their engine, things can get messy and there are issues that can develop. So be cautious. Don't put your money on the line when you don't have to. I know you're all excited, but just keep a level head, keep a level head.
I, for one, disagree. I've never been burned before on a pre-order. I've never pre-ordered, but I've never been burned before. So, yeah, don't pre-order things. That's what I was only kidding around.
Cyberpunk. I'm sure I pre-ordered Cyberpunk.
And Cammy's an idiot. So, do you want to?
I am. No, I am an idiot. Absolutely.
In that instance. Yes.
No, in many, many instances, I'm an idiot.
In that particular instance for our subject, definitely. I don't think I have. What have I? You know what I pre-ordered? This is gonna make me sound like a complete and utter hypocrite. I pre-ordered Sekiro when that came out in like 2019. That's a From Software game, and it's awesome. But don't pre-order stuff. I was young then. I think I was still in high school. I just graduated high school when that game came out.
You're a wee lad.
I was a wee boy. I didn't
wee
know.
Bonnie lad.
Just because I didn't get burned once doesn't mean this couldn't still burn us. There could be any number of issues. Hell, I was tempted to pre-order Psychonauts 2. Again, I would have been right to because it's a fantastic game. But I'm just better than everyone else. That's the difference. I have what's called psychic intuition. I can see things before they happen, and I know where your parents are. Jeffrey, I know where your parents are. Contact me. We're gonna get an email. Oh my God, I haven't posted our new email in our description yet.
Look the email.
We have an email for fan requests and stuff you don't want to post in the comments. If you have anything you want to email us or to check out, if you have any art you want us to check out that you don't want to put in general that you want to email, it's pressstartrequests@gmail.com. It'll be in the description. I can't believe I completely forgot to do that. There's that. So we're looking at you, Jeffrey. Send us an email. I'll help you find your parents. And that's kind of the show today. That's kind of what we got. Some negative stuff, a lot of negative stuff in the news. Why don't we add one more to the pile? I know you two probably aren't. I was just talking about this before. A quick tidbit. I really like the game series. Well, it's not going to be a series, but the game Beyond Good and Evil. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was teased at E3 years ago, and rumor has it, according to, I closed all the tabs. Some guy, Jim Henson, whatever his name was, some guy, he was like, apparently there's a very good chance that game will not be coming. It's screwed. Development is just, it's in a really bad way. That sucks. Absolutely. Especially, they did this really cool thing. They did, it's like an art community thing. People were submitting art and music and all this different stuff that was getting put into the game, which I didn't really see before, but it's like a big community thing, and I thought that was really cool. And now, God only knows what will happen to that stuff. Maybe it'll get released. Maybe it'll just be lost and people will trickle it out later. It sucks. That's all I have to say on the matter. But I guess
Good news.
Good news. I want to end it on good news.
A game called Unpacking came out this week. It's very good. Highly recommend. Go play Unpacking.
That's some good
There you
news.
Go. Off you go. Run along.
Yes,
Play
and
Unpacking.
as always, I've been like we have to make our obligatory mentions and recommendations. I've been playing a lot of not Elden Ring, Disco Elysium. It's fantastic. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of it is a narrative game through and through, but it has offered me some of the most like gut wrenching, laugh out loud moments I think I've ever had while playing a game. Even compared to like Stick of Truth and The Fractured But Whole, it's just fantastic and hilarious. Heavily recommend it. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. And the final, whatever they call it, the final cut, I think is what they call it. Yeah, the final cut is the version that's out now. It's also available on Switch. I've been playing it on PC and Switch, and like if you can play it on PC, play it on PC. Switch port is fine, but it's usually between like 25 and 30 FPS, so it's a little choppy. But still, if that's your only way to play this fantastic game, play it. It's great. And Unpacked, like Kimmy said, is fantastic.
And I don't
it's
have
on
any...
Game Pass.
Oh, it is? Well, look at that.
Yeah, I think
more
I'm pretty
Game
sure,
Pass
yeah.
praised. I haven't played many games this week, but I got a new comic book. It's Oblivion Song.
Yay!
It's by the same guy that did The Walking Dead, along with
Nice.
Dave Felici and Leone. It's awesome. I love it.
Cool.
That's
I got a tattoo, and I'm gonna keep mentioning it because it fucking hurts. So I'm gonna bring it up every chance I get.
That's right. If you want to hear an in-depth talk about the tattoo, watch the
The
Tuesday
tattoo.
show. The spoiler. Actually, I don't know if we can plug that episode of the Tuesday show because we spoil
We spoil The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad
and Game of Thrones
and Game of
BoJack
Thrones.
Horseman. And
got
I'm
a
pretty sure I
tattoo.
just throw out the ending of the Bible at some point during that. That's big stuff.
That is, no one's ever heard that before. It was
No.
revolution.
Anyways, I guess the point is, watch our stuff, you sheep. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody. We love you.